Keri, you and I, we have a lot of mutual friends, so I know a lot of our mutual friends already know you. But for my little circle of friends that don't, let me just explain who I'm talking with here, which this is a special treat for me. You're a coffee-loving actress. You're a host, a producer. You're here we go. You're a regular guest host on HSN. You're a traveler. You're a foodie, and you're all wrapped up in this beautiful little Italian package.
That is quite the introduction. Thank you so much.
Well, and it's all true, too. Keri, what have you been doing lately for the last 14 months?
Well, I know you talked to Mark recently, Mark Gill, and a few people that, work for HSN QVC. We've all had to segue to airing from home. So that has been probably the biggest change, is segueing from arriving at a studio where we have food stylists and a full support staff to now we are everything. We are the producers, the backstage, the food stylists, the everything. And so I had to literally turn my house into a studio. So that was a big undertaking in and of itself. A little shout out to Origami, who for their product is all over my house right now in various different ways. And so, I could probably sell that now. But it was working on that, getting that, orchestrated. And that happened fast. I mean, we literally went from March in studio last year to April 1st,
wow,
we're airing from home. And so there's been a lot of learning and growing with that. I definitely started learning Italian. and don't put me on the spot. Good gracious. I'm like, yeah. But I did my Italian 1 and Italian 2 courses because a lot of the colleges were allowing you to take courses via online. And so I was able to do that. I got to see a lot of parks with my husband because we are travel bugs. And certainly it was hurting a lot as fun as you can make your house. And try to do different things in the house. Like I did Cafe Backyard. You might have seen me posting about that. I was trying to make my backyard a restaurant. And so every weekend we would have brunch and I would post about it. And all of my friends were kind of like, what are we eating this week? And, I'd make it look really fancy. And so that was, kind of fun, but you get kind of bored at the house.
You just said something that triggered a thought that I knew about you from reading your bio or watching you on YouTube or something. But it was something I read last year. Maybe you can refresh my memory. It was when you said you opened a restaurant in your back. Now, did you not, or am I making this up? Did you not, as a young child, open up a restaurant in your own home and charge your parents to eat there?
I did.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
I did. It was Keri's Cafe. I had menus that I made, and I actually had I constructed, because back then we used to always put on the side of our desks, we made little envelopes for when people wanted to write you notes, and you would hang them on the side of your desk and people could drop in their notes. So I made kind of like one of those, but for my menus. So my menus had a little slot right at the front of the kitchen. And when my parents came home, I'd be like, what can I get for you? And I would be the waitress and the cook and everything else. And I would actually charge them. Yeah. So
how old were you?
Oh my gosh. I think somewhere around 10, maybe 8 to 10, something like that.
So now I know you're working on some new production, and I don't know if you can speak about it or not. I don't think you can, but you are working on some new production. Can you not?
Yeah. It's my production, so I can certainly talk about it a little bit. So in addition to the things that I do in front of camera, I've always had an interest for producing and being behind camera because I just love the whole process of everything, so when you love it that much, you just want to be everywhere, you want to absorb it as much as you can. And the last few years I had been focused on my HSN work and, like you said, a lot of traveling and things like that. And I moved from South Florida which had a pretty big indie scene, to Atlanta, Georgia, which kind of has a big studio scene, like Marvel's here and all the big productions, but they don't quite have a great independent scene. So it took me a little bit to build a team, but yes, I am in pre-production on a film short. It's probably going to be about 12 minutes. Our cast is all kids. So it's kind of a fun way to get back in. And we are in casting right now and we're set to shoot in June, but I'm producing. So that's, literally taking it from script to screen.
That's exciting. I've watched several of your stuff on YouTube. I mean, So Dark, Blood, Dust, and Benjos was one of my favorite.
That's a fun one.
Savannah is quite the character,
Yeah.
And I think every guy would agree. There's really nothing hotter than a pretty girl in a short denim skirt shooting a gun, right? And killing her boyfriend, right?
And saying the F word a lot, because that was I don't know if we're allowed to curse here.
I may have to put that link on with your permission, because it's a great little scene when you kill him dead. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Savannah was Savannah. So Savannah was your Georgia, you know, she was kind of your Georgia girl, and she was definitely but it was in Florida, and she definitely had a, I think, you know, and you listen, I think every actor you talk to, because that was, you know, a few years going back now, we did that in 14, I'd like to say. I feel like if I went back and did Savannah now, I could even add more layers to her now and make her even grittier. But probably every actor that you ask that to, we do that even with our presentations. We always believe we could do better, you know?
Savannah was gritty and pretty. But I'll tell you something. What was the other one? Patient Killer. That was another.
Patient Killer for Lifetime. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good. And now your husband, Chris, I don't want to talk too much about him because this is about you. But Chris is a sound mixer, is he not? And he's involved in WandaVision?
Yes, he was the sound mixer, the production sound mixer for WandaVision, and he's currently on a project that I can't speak about, but he is out of the country right now, and so he will be returning soon. But it's pretty awesome, this one that he's on as well, and so I'm very excited for him. And he was on Moonlight.
Chris. If he wants to be on my show, he'll be on my show. This is about you.
We'll talk to him.
So, yeah, that's great, and I'd love to talk to him because he's done some exciting things just like you. You make a great couple, by the way. You know, how long have you been together?
This is our 19th year.
Wow. That's incredible.
19.
You must have met him when you first opened up your restaurant at home.
I was only 10. No. Arranged marriage when I was 10. No, it's we we're aging well, I'd like to say, like the fine wines that we have tried around the world. Yeah, we've been married a long time. And you know, you don't realize, even being in this business, you know, I've been doing HSN now for 11 years. I've been as an actor. I think I really got started in acting when I was a kid. I kind of left it for a while. I came back as a young adult. So I've been doing that a long time. So it's kind of like, you know, you probably know the years just fly and you're like, what is going on? Like, it's just like all of a sudden here you are. And yet I still feel like I have so much to learn and so much more to do. And so I don't know, it's the weirdest feeling ever. But yeah, 19 years married is quite the accomplishment now, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. You're in a very interesting field, though. I mean, I love show business. And again, we've got a lot of mutual friends, Mark Gill, John Florell, Lou Caputo. I mean, we got a lot of mutual friends. And it really is, I mean, getting up in the morning, and whether it's TV work or for me, even trade shows and stuff, I really enjoy it because it's always different, you know?
Yes.
You know?
It's true. And then different countries. Like, so I got to meet you by coming up to TSC, which was pretty fun. And then we got to physically, like actually in person, meet each other, which was great.
Yes.
But you know, I feel, as you were saying, all of our friends, I'm like, it's quite the boys club. So I certainly feel like definitely us ladies are far and few between in the industry. But I feel so fortunate for the boys that I met at the beginning. You know, for me, I think I don't know if I would have come this far if it wasn't for Mark Gill and Rick Tarantino, who really spent a lot of time to help me, like when I was new and I really didn't know anything. I really didn't know anything.
Yes.
And I was thrust onto the on air at HSN, and I'm trying to figure it out. And they you know, you either sink or swim, you know, in this, and it's live television. There's no going back and redoing it, right? So like, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to Mark and Rick, and especially Mark. I mean, he's been such a close friend as well as a mentor. Yeah,
Mark and I mean, we met before he even got into this industry. He was at the home show, or the C&E rather, but I had him once on my show. We talked about our first meeting and stuff, and he was, I mean, you could see why he ended up in this business because he was a natural the moment I met him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, you know, what's great about Mark is he's just so fun. He's just so fun. So you can find the fun in anything. And you see that in his presentations as well. And I think that's what I've always tried to maintain too, is just being honest, being real, having fun, you know, getting people involved in a way that it's not just you're pushing a product, but you're actually saying like, look what this is going to do for you. Like, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. And I always try to look at every product when I get it as like, the customer, because I am the customer at that point. It comes to my house, I look at it, I say, how do I feel about this, even when I open it up? And then, okay, what am I excited about making with this?
Yeah.
Because chances are whatever my first thoughts are going to be the first thoughts of anyone else that's going to get it. So I try to be as relatable as possible, you know, in those ways, because the companies always want what the companies want, but then we're the middleman to say, but this is probably what a person's thinking. And this is what I'm thinking. So I want to share this with someone at that level.
Yes. You know, and again, we are in a business where I think some of the best products in the industry come to us because our industry, it's quite a way to get the market out, to power brand a product, to be on HSN, to have a professional demonstrate it. Like, I mean, was it Sodastream you were doing? Was it?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me about that one.
Sodastream. So Sodastream was like, it was like a dream ride for me. I think that's what actually kind of made me known at HSN, because up until that point I had done some smaller products. I wasn't really airing very often. Sodastream came along. That was the perfect storm product. It was the perfect time, the perfect price, the perfect, you know, guest, the perfect everything. I auditioned for HSN with the Sodastream. So going back 3-4 years before Sodastream ever came to the network, I auditioned with them, and they were so enthralled with my presentation because I was doing Sodastream in the malls. So I was at Bed Bath & Beyond and Macy's and Bloomingdale's doing presentations. And so that was the product I felt most comfortable with when I auditioned for HSN. And I knew probably that I was going to get hired by HSN when the people that were doing the audition, as soon as I was done, came running up to the table because they're like, we want to taste this. We want to see what this is like. And they were so excited. I thought, ooh, score, I did good. They got excited. And sure enough, I got hired. But 3-4 years later, and I love telling this story, and I hope one day I get to meet Tori Spelling, but Sodastream was looking at either hiring Tori Spelling or me, because HSN said, hey, we have this guest here who auditioned with the Sodastream and she was excellent. And they might have even showed Sodastream my tape. So I ended up on the phone with them, and the VP of sales just says, look, you know, we're talking to Tori Spelling. And I was like, and that was a really weird, you know, my age range grew up with 90210. I remember telling my mother not to talk to me. Like when 90210 was on, like nobody was to speak. Like it was like I was glued to the set. This was a big show for me in my age range. And to hear that it was me or her up for a product was a really surreal moment, right?
I can only imagine that's a great story.
Yeah. Yes. And so push come to shove, I think I might have been a little more in the budget than Tori Spelling, I guess. And so they went with me and took a chance. And we ended up building quite an amazing business. I mean, at one point it was over 250,000 machines sold. In 6 months, we had several Today's Specials. We blew away. I don't know if I still hold it because Curtis Stone's been doing quite awesome, but I held at that time the top Today's Special crown. I mean, I had the best performing Today's Special on HSN out of anyone else in culinary at that time. So that was crazy. I mean, everybody was just, and it just went from like just me doing a couple little products to like all of a sudden everyone's like, hey Keri, how are you, Keri? How's Sodastream doing? Like what's going? So Sodastream for me was like a life changer. It was certainly quite the ride.
Yes, and of course Ferris Nuts. That always makes me hungry watching that one.
That one I love. It's a great company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, who I am so fortunate to be with. This is my 11th year with them. They were one of my first accounts. So we're still going strong, and I love them. I think that they're everything they offer. They're a coffee company too. A lot of people know about them for their nuts, but they're also an amazing coffee company. So if you're ever in Grand Rapids in the Michigan area, check them out.
Well, Keri, I want to thank you. Here, let's have a cheers for our coffees there. I want to thank you very much. Have a sip.
Okay.
Because you're a coffee loving actress, and I'm a coffee loving, I don't know what I am. I'm a pretend ShowTalk host at the moment.
You're a Renaissance man.
I'm a Renaissance man. Keri, so nice to see you again, and thank you for saying yes and joining me today.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Okay, well, we'll do it again. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And we'll talk.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.